check Bible Construct. Somebody check.
I feel like Tank. Oh, Major, this is exciting time.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
We good?
Did somebody check on their line? Heirs and promises on. Please hurt the wicked on.
Yeah, we got some.
Kind.
Come on.
Yeah, well, that was my notice. All right. And Shalom. We are the Brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakadash.
Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. And to the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathens that look like those heathens, and to the very few Akwaf that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. And we just gotta jump right into it. Can we get the what is that, Jeremiah 49:10? Made Esau bear, I believe.
All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 10. And it reads, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not."
He is not. Is there more to that, brother?
Verse 11, leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me.
All right, so Esau's about to go down. And it is funny because a lot of his women, he's losing everything, including his women. All right, and it's literally happened. And you know, the scriptures warned us that the man of sin will be revealed, and he's truly being revealed. But his nature hasn't changed. He's still arrogant and pompous, all right, and thinks that the world revolves around him, and he cares nothing about anyone's humanity but his own. All right, and as a matter of fact, he doesn't even look at the other nations as people. We just goyim and cattle to them. All right, because we're gonna watch some of this video and then come with scriptures. But in this video, you're gonna see how arrogantly proud this damn senator is when he's drilling this FBI director and this DEA agent. About the drug cartels coming out of Mexico, which Americans have worked with for a very long time. And there's evidences of that. They've even made movies about it. All right. Don't forget about the movie. What was it? Kill the Messenger with Jeremy Renner. All right, about in the 80s when he did, and they ended up killing that reporter as well. That he played. That reporter proved and exposed the fact that the CIA was bringing cocaine into the America and distributed it, and that whole crack cocaine thing. Yeah. And you see a different stance with Esau Edom against the cartels now that it's fentanyl, and fentanyl has mainly been a drug of so-called white people. It has destroyed. Just look at Philly. I was watching a video today that I might do a video on later. That shit was bugged out, and it just shows you a couple of jinx in there too. All right, but yeah, you saw it. I think I may have sent it to you. That video was sick, man. And so
everybody leaned on.
I know.
They doing what they call the heroin lean. Back in the day, that was
and screaming and but it's weird. I mean, I just find it funny. That all of a sudden this concern about the cartels, but when they were bringing in drugs, when they were profiting and filling up their prison houses with Negroes and so-called Hispanics, during the crack epidemic, they weren't concerned with it. But fentanyl, you got to remember, for a 20+ year period, you lost 40 million young adult, childbearing age Edomites. All right. And that's why the numbers are so low. And and that is the reason why they're pushing all this legislation to make abortions illegal, because they don't care about babies in this country. They sacrifice and kill babies daily, especially ones of color.
Right.
All right. What they're concerned about is the fact that Edomite women, they're going to college and career minded and all that sort of thing, and they're not having children, and so-called white people what's that scripture? It says, "I made you small among the heathen."
Oh,
Shut up.
Obadiah 1.
Hey, grab that real quick, and then because that.
Real quick, Elder.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh, they'll play a commercial. It's 5 seconds.
Of course.
It's your journey on every mile in the Hyundai Tucson with American.
Trump headlines a rally to support 2 Republican candidates ahead of Tuesday's primary. Comments made by one of them, Congresswoman Mary Miller, are drawing backlash. During last night's rally, Trump endorsed State Senator Darren Bailey in the 6-way GOP race for governor. He told the crowd at the Adams County Fairgrounds near Quincy, Bailey will restore the state to greatness. Trump also reiterated his support for Miller, who is facing 5-term Congressman Ronnie Davis in the newly redrawn 15th district. This is what Miller said about celebrating the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
A victory for white life.
Yeah, so that proves it. Matter of fact, send that to me. Bobby Shop. You know what? We might play that one on the screen too. Matter of fact, send it. We'll put it up on the screen and play it later, Bobby Shop. So that just proves what I said to be true. They were concerned with because white people are not making babies, and they're losing, and then a lot of their women are running to the so-called black men, all right, and other Israelite men, all right, to Israelite men. That's what's happening, all right. You got white women screaming White Castle. Right? So it's a wrap. It's a wrap. But if we could bring it out, brother, bring it out.
This Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Yeah, and hey, I saw. Matter of fact, let me see if I can read it. Then we'll play some of this video. There was an It said that the people are worldwide are beginning to upright against against white government, against the American government. See if I can find an image real quick.
You want to put it on the big screen?
I was just gonna read it.
Oh, okay.
If I can find it, if I didn't delete it. Yeah, Homeland Security sounded alarms that America expects an increase of violence leading up to 2024 election cycle. So, but that's not it though. But that's just, everything's on the verge of just basically imploding.
Right. Lord said, when He returns, what will I if fires would
Yeah, here
already
it is.
kindled?
It's World News by Daniel Kovalik, teaches international human rights at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, and is the author of the recently released book, Nicaragua, A History of Intervention and Resistance. American elites are starting to concede that the world is rebelling against the U.S., and Washington has nobody to blame but itself. Published May 26, 2023. All right, it says a former White House official has acknowledged the reality of the growing resistance to the country's imperialism. The world is tired of Esau, Edom. They're tired of the West. They're tired of the so-called white man. And if you really pay attention to the chatter that's on the internet, that's exactly what's happening. The nations are tired. The people are tired. They're being called out for their imperialism, their tyranny, and their colonization by all, not just the Israelites, but Elam and Moab, Ammon, Ham. They're being called out by everyone.
That's the Isaiah 14 starting to
I
come
got
into
Isaiah
play.
14 right
That's
here.
the spirit, brother.
I'm finna post this photo in the bishop's room though.
Okay.
Can I get this Obadiah?
Go ahead, brother. Read it.
Yeah, this is Obadiah 1 and 2. It says, Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised.
So that's them out twice.
Come, read verse 6, brother. Yeah, he had just read that, brother. Read verse 6.
It says, How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Right? And why? Through the men of the Lord.
That's right.
All right? Directly through the men of the Lord.
That's right.
If you could play that, we can watch this proud Edomite drill this, question this woman. He's so worried about what like the other lady said. He's worried about white America. That's what this whole drug cartel thing is about. Why he wants to go to war with the drug cartels in Mexico,
That's right.
which could start a war with Mexico.
And that's the thing that when you watch it, I'm thinking the whole time you keep asking this woman the same question. First of all, why are you asking her? She's not the Mexican president, can't speak for the Mexican president. But anyway, we don't president.
Well, she's the one that corresponds with the president of the United States to get the shit done. So whatever she recommends, America will follow. That's what he's talking about, right? Okay.
But you can see his concern
Yes.
that this concern was not there when the drug problem was a Jake problem.
Oh no.
Oh no. Like,
Hey, the nigga, the real Freeway Rick Ross, he said it. He got out. He said he did an interview about it. I'm surprised the nigga lied, but it's common knowledge now. They asked him about who supplied you. He said the CIA. He said it directly.
Yep.
And then they put in all type of shows and movies now.
Yeah.
Snowfall.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that cocaine there.
Oh, and let's not forget.
The CIA was all involved in that shit.
Let's not forget the chase boat that got seized with all them kilos of cocaine.
That story
shit disappeared right away.
That story got straight swept under the rug.
Oh, yeah.
They lifted the rug up.
What story?
Put that shit. Chase
Right.
it.
I know.
Oh.
Well, they get paid. You gotta stay.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon didn't have to go on and give no speech and no apologies or nothing. All right, it came out, it hit the news. Fox reported on it. All right, you knew they would because
They get paid twice or thrice for that. They get paid for distribution. They get paid when you get caught and locked up and put them in private prisons. All right, and then they get paid for working with the damn niggas that sell shit down there.
And then the third benefit of it, they make your number smaller with all the violence that comes behind it. When they got niggas and spiggers out there shooting and killing each other over blocks and territory.
Wow.
Look,
Especially with heroin, because they use that shit, them poppies, for Western medicine as well.
right.
So you get Western medicine, plus you get the drug game, plus you get prisoners.
And you filling your courts up, you filling your courthouses, they just get, they cha-ching, they just racking it up.
And the synthesis on heroin and things of that nature is through the fucking roof. It's through the roof. Like I said, you get 4 or 5 bags, they give your ass 100 years and lose your ass.
Yeah, but now we switched to
Exactly. The
to this shit with the fentanyl. I seen the video. They had the people handing out the pipes, handing out the needles.
Absolutely.
Like they getting funded by the government to hand out these needles in these safe spaces.
And here's what's crazy. Like I said, me and Canasa lived out here in St. Charles, so he knows the neighborhood like I know the neighborhood. And among all these wealthy ass $4 or $5 million houses in that same neighborhood, they done put this fucking rehab center for fentanyl abusers and this, that, and the
Oh
other.
yeah, that's the thing now. Let's not imprison them. Let's give them help.
Exactly right.
Help them though.
No, there's testimonies of Biden, the same man that they're talking about getting help from, criminalizing and demeaning and demonizing the crack abusers.
Absolutely.
They weren't trying to give them no help. They were just trying to fill up prison cells.
Absolutely.
Let them be in pain and suffer inside a cell and get cleaned up and wake up inside of
Wasn't
there.
that the one he said about the jungles?
Call the monkeys.
Yeah, call the monkeys.
Yeah. That was in the Godfather. But like Benji said, that big boat. See, in the '80s, mid '80s, that so-called Miami Vice show, that was the small runners. They weren't talking about the government shit that was bringing that shit in on the
military brought that in.
Right, huh?
Military brought that in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. The big boats is the government shit. They
don't C-130s and them Hercules too, man.
Right.
They showed you that movie with with Denzel and Russell Crowe. Yeah, American Gangster.
Oh,
yeah. They were bringing it right back on the inside the coffins with the soldiers. All right. But go ahead and let's let some of this video play.
The two cartels that are sending fentanyl into the United States are located in Mexico, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it a fact that we could stop those cartels in their tracks if President Lopez Obrador would invite American military and or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with his military and law enforcement personnel?
Senator, what I would say from my purview as the head of the DEA,
But is my statement true or not?
what I would say is that we're focused on the two cartels, who we believe are doing exactly what you say. They are responsible for the fentanyl
Let
coming.
me ask you again, if President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and/or American law enforcement officials to come into Mexico to work with the same in Mexico, we could stop the cartels, could we not?
Senator, I believe this is a whole of government effort and has to be, including whether it's the military, us, FBI,
Now, Madam Administrator, I've listened to you here for almost an hour, telling us how bad fentanyl is. Thank you for that, but we know.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna ask you a third time. If President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and/or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with the same in Mexico, we could stop the cartels. Isn't that a fact?
So, Senator, I can speak to the law enforcement side of this, and you just mentioned law enforcement. I believe that this is vital for both Mexico and the United States. Mexicans are dying as well, as we showed in the Chapito.
Well, then why
Pause it
don't we
right
stop
there.
them?
All right, pause it right there. Once again, we're going to reiterate the fact. Somebody get Micah 2 and 10, because they want to just go down there and further even take over more in Mexico than what they already
That's
have.
basically what they're saying.
All right, that's really what they're saying. They want to put more puppets in and more people, just for more control.
Right.
All right.
They want to put the military in there.
But like as we were saying, prior to the fact that when the crack epidemic was hitting America and all that cocaine was coming up from Mexico, they did absolutely nothing. All right, they accept profit off of it via the prison system, Isaiah 42 and 22, via the prison system and via their court systems. The attorneys and the courts they kept the flow. The investors and the stockholders in the prisons,
Right.
they kept the flow.
That was literally one of the reasons why when I got out the military, I did not become a Chicago cop, because of the fact that for 5 rocks, they were locking brothers up for 50 years or so. But the guy that had 92% Peruvian
A whole
plate,
truckload.
right?
I remember those stories. You would have a truck driver get pulled over that had tons, 10, 15, 20 tons, of cocaine, however much he was carrying in that truck, and he'd get 2-3 years. And then a brother, all right, that had 5 rocks,
Diluted.
got 5 years per rock
That's it.
at 19 years old.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
I got that, Isaiah.
Barbecue shop.
This is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
Now this is a prophecy of the condition that the Israelites will be in. All right, and we're gonna reiterate as we always do. All right, the Finkelsteins, the Goldsmiths, the Bergs. All right, the
Oppenheimer.
the Oppenheimers. Right, the Steins.
Gettys.
They're not hidden in prison houses.
They're above the law.
Being railroaded.
Right.
No, they got their own ambulance.
Prisons.
They got their own ambulance service. All right.
Well, we're the robbed. They're the robbers.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So it's Isaiah 42 and
They're
20.
profiting off of this prison house.
Oh yeah. This is Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, restore.
And that was a condition that the Israelites will be in. All right, that was one of the curses, and I think it's Deuteronomy 28:45. It said this will be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. All right, so it's really easy spiritually to identify who the Israelites are and who the wicked is. And these people are the wicked. And he's so boldly because he's only concerned because of the majority of the death of fentanyl, all right, over the last 20 plus years have been whites, so-called white people, self-proclaimed white people. And so when you combine that with the fact that their women weren't having babies until they're in their damn near 39, 40 years old because they were too busy doing their career, their numbers are very, very low. That's why they lie and call people that come in from North Africa and different parts of Asia, because we're
White.
not going to say that word, the middle,
Right.
the middle E word. There's no such
Right,
thing.
right.
That's Asia. So people that come in from Asia that are melanated people, they get labeled as white people when they come here to America.
That's it.
So they have to lie. So they all this census and documentation is all docketed up to lie about that number so that they can keep
Boost their numbers.
voting power and,
Right,
and,
right.
and finances and money coming to them. Everything about these people is a lie. They are very untrustworthy in these scriptures.
I got a precept. This
Bring
is
it out, brother.
Proverbs 26 and 26. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation.
Nice. Call it again, brother. That was music to my ears. One more time.
Proverbs chapter 26, verse 26. It says, whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation.
Ooh, just let him speak some more. His wickedness is definitely being covered by deceit. Because
So
his
would it
concern,
help?
his concern is for Edomites. This is the reason why he's so livid, you know, and why, you know, once again, that what was it, Roca versus Roe or whatever?
Roe versus Wade.
Roe versus Wade was overturned to save white lives. And guess what? And that's another reason why white women are in rebellion against Edomite men, because they, you know, then that's why so many of them, man, it's a bad one that come past the dojo every day walking a dog, man. Man, ooh, we. I'm always busy when, you know, man, she packed, she thick as hell.
Packing, huh?
What time you say again?
Lord,
I saw, you know, chopping it up with a Jake. You know, I'm like, I don't know if that's a man or not. But never, anyway, either way, I get on the other side. I ain't gonna even, whatever.
Right.
Your fourth time. Would it help if President Lopez Obrador, I don't think it's a complicated question, Madam Administrator. You're asking us for more money every year, more money, and it gets worse, worse, and worse. You know, in the real world, the nitty-gritty of the real world, when you fail, you get fired. In government, when you fail, you get more money because obviously you need it. Now, let me ask you a fourth time. If President Lopez Obrador, and I'd appreciate an answer, if President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and our law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with his, we could stop the cartels, couldn't we?
I believe, Senator, that we can stop the cartels.
Okay, have you made that suggestion to President Biden?
If I could, I believe that we can stop the cartels by...
Have you made that suggestion to President Biden?
Senator, I have been very vocal in the whole of government setting on the importance of fentanyl, and all of us using every single effort and authority that we
Why
have.
hasn't President Biden done it? I mean, this is the way the American people, whose sons and daughters are dying, look at it. Our economy is $23 trillion. Mexico's economy is $1.3 trillion. Ours is 18 times bigger. We buy $400 billion every year from Mexico. Without the people of America, Mexico, figuratively speaking, would be eating cat food out of a can and living in a tent.
I had to say something right
Proud
there.
motherfucker.
He
He
just-
just my French, but not really.
That's right. He said America's 23 GDP, or they make what 23 trillion something, right?
Let's not forget that America stole Mexico.
Exactly.
Mexicans, you know, they're not illegal aliens. They actually are indigenous to America.
And this is their land.
Your red ass is not.
The scripture says, "Remove not the landmark." So just because you remove the landmark, that's not was not honored by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, you thief. All right. And secondly, you all said, "Oh, our GDP $23 trillion." Well, what's our fucking national debt, bitch? It's over $30-something trillion. So you want to talk
Actually,
about
200 when they count
and all the other
everything.
liabilities and
Right.
so forth. That's right. So you're going to have the nerve, the unmitigated gall, the audacity to say, "Y'all, this sums up upon your death." So, bitch, you
cat food in a tent.
You know what I'm saying? And all you do is printing money, you thief. You printing up paper, fake ass dollars. Let it be so fiat currency. It's not real money, gold and silver. So fuck you and your lying ass. All right, because that was that's that circumlocution too. All right, that's bullshit.
Yeah, and another thing, Mexico, if it was that serious, Mexico could sell their goods to anybody else. America, you know, It's the whole world that.
And now, not to mention that America has basically, especially these last 25, 30 years, the labor that has been given to the strong ass, which is Issachar, the so-called Mexican, has basically floated America.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yep.
All right. So without the Mexican, America would collapse. And guess what? They got a saying from my generation. What was it? F around and find out. Or Florida and F'd around and found out.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's what we was talking about in the car.
Okay. Florida F'd around and found out, man. All right.
You got all this produce rotting on the vine now.
Which is all by design. And the reason why Biden is not doing anything, I'm gonna answer this is because they're in depopulation mode.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't care about. So these Edomites that are dying and suffering, they don't give a damn about you. What's the scripture when to him that would do wicked to himself? Roughly paraphrase. Go ahead and get it, man. That so because you know what they gave you a false narrative. They gave you a false identity and called it whiteness, and now whiteness has actually become a problem in this society. You know, the youth now that all the history is coming out about them, white kids don't even want. There's so many videos about little white kids crying. They don't want to be white no more, and they're trying to get them to stop CRT in the schools. Why? But you know what? Trying to stop, and it's not theory, it's history. It should be CRH, Critical Race History, or like the channel, Critical Race Historical Facts. Subscribe. But you know, it's your history. It's you. It's what you've done. And now you got to the point where that whole the whole being special because you're white. And actually, it's the complete reverse now. The curses are falling upon them. And they're in depopulation mode anyway. So the whites that are dying, the elite whites look down upon them. They may as well be niggas. Mm-hmm. So what's really going on is they just two-time losers. Because they're suffering and dying and broken poor in their own kingdom. That's not going to happen in the kingdom of the Lord. All right? The Israelites are going to be good forever and ever and ever. Thus saith the Bible.
I got scripture.
Bring it out.
This is Sirach 14. I'm gonna start at 4. He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others. That shall spend his good righteously. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. This is what we see in Esau. Like I said, he's so busy trying to collect and hold his wealth that the scripture says he loses sleep. Okay? He can't even sleep well. Why? Because he put so much dirt out there in the fucking world that now he's got to try to monitor everything. And that's why he wants to be God and fucking hip everybody.
I got a precept real quick to back you up, Pops. This Mark 3:25. If a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And what we seeing is just Esau being divided amongst each other, man. All right? And we seeing the downfall of this kingdom right before our eyes, man. All right?
You got congressmen arguing among themselves and whatnot because one wants to do this, one wants to do that. In actuality, the truth of the matter is, like Elder said, these elitists are looking to destroy and pull everybody down.
You know what? I got a quick one for you. You made me think about this. Proverbs 28:10. Who causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have good things in possession. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that have understanding searcheth him out. See? So the poor that search, that's the Israelites. The scriptures clearly say that the righteous would be last. All right, on this side. All right? He says he that is first shall be last, and he that is last shall be first. Well, we're not first in this society, but yet the Lord is dealing with those who are last. He's dealing with those who are low, the meek. All right, the meek that are suffering. Okay? But we can switch to the next video, Papa Bashar.
He's letting the he's letting the last that know his word and put his word and that vibe out there into the world, let that word come true now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, it's perfect that you said that, because that brings us to this next video. Because now us speaking, because this right here is really about us. All these other things, Christians and Republicans and Fox News, all that's being mentioned, but the real target is us, the men of the Lord, who are, especially the men of Great Millstone, who put up videos daily. All right, daily. Okay, because you would think that with IUIC, the internet would be broken with many members that they have, but you know, they really aren't apt. They don't have the aptitude to go into the scriptures like that individually. Neither does the members of ISUPK. Only certain individuals are actually, you know, doing anything.
And I've never seen any of them doing anything.
And now they're beefing with each other, cutthroating each other, and they're both 501c3, sellouts that are basically drawing this negative light to Israel so that we can be demonized and categorized as set it play.
$8 million of your taxpayer dollars to companies who put conservative and Christian organizations in the same category as militant terror groups and scale them by levels of radicalization.
There's a program called the Targeted Violence and Terrorism Prevention Grant Program. This is supposed to find domestic terrorists in America. There are 80 recipients of money so far. They've received $40 million in grants. You've got Christian Broadcasting. You've got the Republican National Committee. Already you've got more than half of America. DHS awarded them a grant of $358,000 to continue doing it.
Michigan gubernatorial candidate Tudor Dixon joins us now. Tudor, we were just talking before this. This is insane. I mean, the groups on this list, it goes from Fox News to the RNC to Christian Broadcasting. I mean, what does this signify to you?
Right. This means that the government can actually take our taxpayer dollars and use them to come out and say that we are terrorists because they have MAGA on that. They have the RNC, so opposing political parties. And then they have Fox News. I mean, think about that. Fox News is simply a news organization that is reporting facts, but they're facts that the Biden administration doesn't like, so they use our money to call us terrorists.
I like the point that Brent made. You're literally calling half of the American public, potentially even more, terrorists. I mean, think about that for a moment. The DHS, Department of Homeland Security, should be focused on, I don't know, that little thing down there at the border, maybe, instead of, demonizing half the country.
Right, as we see people coming in every day that are a threat, and they're trying to hide that and keep that out of the news. In fact, one of the only networks that is actually reporting it is Fox News, and they're calling Fox terrorists, but they're calling the border safe. This is insane.
Well, in fact, the taxpayer dollars are going to fund this is even more crazy.
This is, go ahead, bro.
Sorry.
This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. They're getting ready to separate and war with each other.
That's right.
And this is the chaos that they want. Esau wants the chaos because he wants to come in behind that and bring the MOTB. Just like,
I'm bringing order to the table.
That dumbass Lil Duval, spoke about. All right? That lets you know that these celebrities and everyone is watching is truth. All right, and y'all brother step out there, whatever that is. That just goes to let you know that these celebrities are watching us.
Yep.
All right?
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, at this point, we're the true celebrities.
That's right.
The whole world is watching us. All right, including the celebrities. All right, what's that scripture? He will give us fame, and the place where we were shamed. Yeah. They're trying to shame us. All right.
I got something for you. This is 1 Corinthians 4:9. If I think that God has set forth us the apostles last, as it were appointed to death, we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels and to men. So everybody's watching.
Everybody's watching.
Even the wretched bitch Suki mentioned the Israelites, man.
Yep.
Everybody watching the Israelites. And that post that Duval made is heavy through the spirit, because we said that. We said that the vaccine was the trial run. And then that nigga turns around and say the same thing.
He confirmed.
They got y'all to take this. You definitely gonna take that chip. That's the time to try the world, man. And that's what Esau playing. At the end of the day, he wants to take the Israelites out. He's salty about He really putting up a facade. He don't care, like Elder Malcolm said, he don't care about the little Edomites down here. All right, but some of them do, but the elites don't care.
Now,
the ones in government don't give a shit. They want you to go.
They don't give a damn, man.
This Wisdom of Solomon. Oh, slack.
I was gonna say their kids and their inner circles not taking fentanyl. They ain't doing all that
shit. Joe Biden's son is.
Sure they low level.
Wisdom of Solomon 2. And
they're not the elites.
10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So they use their laws to afflict us, to beat us down, to speak loftily against oppression, even that puffed up speech. Mexico need us. If we don't do this, they'll be eating cat food out of cans.
Absolutely.
That puffed up shit, man. Right? Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending the law, and objected to our infamy, the transgressing of our education. So this is what Esau really wants to stop. So they always had conspiracy theorists pushing out the truth. That's part of their agenda. They got to push what they're really doing out there. So they're doing the Kirkland way. They had the Inquiry. Ain't that the name of the old magazine? The Inquirer. The Inquirer. They had they had that shit. They put a bunch of weird shit on there. Then you get to page 20. You get to page 20 right in the middle. It's some real shit. Then you like, oh, this is more bullshit.
Bullshit.
Right. So they always did that. So why now they want to take it? No, because this is about stopping us. That's why it's all linked to stopping them that preach the truth, etc. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us without offending the law, and objects our infamy, the transgressions of our education. We actually speaking the truth. That's the problem. See, with them conspiracy theorists, they don't care if you know about the Illuminati. They talk about it. The nigga Jim Carrey got on stage. No, was it Jim Carrey?
He went off to
and they actually clowned him for it.
But it was another comedian. He got on stage and said it was a war show. He was like, yeah, the whole Illuminati's here.
I remember that.
Yeah, he said at the war show, they laughed because they all juiced in. Oh, yeah. They laughed about it, kept going on about it.
Did that too.
Yeah, they all ate babies and rape people together. So
Jim Carrey did.
So they don't hide that shit. They make movies about it. They made the Skull and Bones movie when it was in college.
Yeah, I see.
It was a decent little movie. Yeah, they showed this shit.
Look, this is how far back it goes. I remember a scene in the old comical Batman that came on Channel 9, where it talk about Bruce Wayne is a part of Skull and Bones. No, Bruce Wayne started Skull and Bones.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's back in the fucking 60s.
So now they got a problem with the problem is the truth is coming out. We're telling you that this man is Esau. We're telling you the name of the father is Yahweh, the son Yahweh Shai, the Israelites. Those small hatters are imposters. That's too much truth. That's too much truth.
Hey, brother, and you know what? And that's, look, that my nephew, he's a barber, and he's in the barbershop. He barbershop prophesying. Matter of fact, he got into a scuffle, and had to rough some dude up.
Shit.
But he's coming with, he watches the videos. He's coming with the truth, and they go to show how they watching him. He told one of the guys that he's my nephew. And the dude was like, I don't believe you.
Damn.
He's like, nah, like, you don't know him. But
so they know you.
They're watching us.
They're watching us.
So these hood cats, not only the celebrities, they're watching, man.
No, regular Jake know what's going on, man. We was in a Walmart. Dude walked up. He was like, man, was it really y'all? Like some shit he said like that. I mean, watch y'all the videos or some shit, how he worded. Just random niggas. Not saying like in a disrespectful way, but random niggas.
You know what I'm saying? When I was outside.
Not only that, but when you was in the Waukegan, you know what I'm saying? And this happened to us many times where we were always like, hey, aren't you on YouTube? That happened to me at work. From my job, went to the gas station next door. Ain't you on YouTube all the time? They watch it, but it's like it's the Ezekiel 33. They stand and they watch the people and hear what comes from the people.
So they won't do it. Yeah, they won't do it. He professed to have the knowledge of God, and he called himself the child of the Lord. They believe. Y'all say y'all the son. They done put this whole image, this red image up. They thought they had it. They thought they supplanted us, gonna rule forever.
They ran with the JC fake image, the fake JC fake name. And now the truth is out, and they're highly upset.
Yeah, you got hood niggas on news talking about y'all ain't the Jews, we the Jews.
Mm-hmm. He was made to prove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us even to behold. He just hate looking at us. For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. That's the point. We can't be bought like these other dudes. We can't be made to conform to the ways of the world. And Esau knows he's losing his grip. That Revelation 11, they seeing us standing upon our feet. And they afraid, man.
Yep, great fear.
Yeah, so what Satan got left to do? Come down with that great wrath. But he can't just come with it. He gotta put he like to make it himself an angel of light. So you're gonna put these things in law. Are they a problem to the society? That wokeness. That's why they got this whole term wokeness now. But it's attached to these damn leotards that's onto this weird shit. But now with this wokeness bush they got, they can come against us another way. They try every angle.
Yeah. Could you read that first? Could you read that scripture that you started off with again? The lion wait, that one.
Verse 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is gone for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings.
And that lying in wait, that video we just watched, that's them being sneaky. They're trying to lie in wait to say, oh, the RNC and your Democrats and your Christians. They, like you said, it's really lying in wait. Isaiah the 30th, the 10th chapter says, to find a way to get us off the street. That's that Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they prescribe, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. All right. Although at the end game of Esau Edom is he wishes he could suppress this truth. He's really mad that he didn't get rid of the Bible. They're mad that they opened up the internet. This is damn shit. It's information war and we're losing. What's the information that they're losing? The truth.
Yep.
The truth is out.
Yeah, because they against the truth. Esau whole things is falsehood. Like the scriptures say, he's the anointed cherub that covered. And this dude really deceived the whole world. He
the father of lies.
Right, he said he's the father. If he speak of a lie, he speak of himself.
Of his own self.
You know what I'm saying? So this is Esau thing. All right. So when you coming against that, hey, we coming in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, and really they hate the Lord, because it's really the Lord telling him.
That's right.
And putting him on blast and showing, exposing him, man. You know, and in the world we live in now, hey, look. Esau is being made bare, man.
That's right.
You know, you can actually see the private parts, all the Esau things that was in secret about the pedophilia and things like that. The little secret islands they had, all that's on blast right now, man.
And that's just a tip of
it. Right. You even got Edomites asking about the list.
Why have they cut it?
Right.
You know, they're asking about,
where's that list at?
Where's that list? The Epstein Island list.
Right.
What's her name? Ghislaine
Maxwell? Yeah, Ghislaine.
Yeah, that was a pedophilia list.
You know, it was a whole list that had a lot of high-ranking government officials from other countries, and princes and presidents and celebrities.
Where's the laptop?
You know, and then
how are you gonna lose? How's the FBI, CIA, Department of DOG, whatever the hell, gonna lose?
You know what? That was the same group of guys that lost the videotape of the moon landing.
Hold on.
Same dudes, man.
How do you lose something in the cloud?
Dumb was on the job.
Right. How do you lose something in the cloud? Because once it hits the cloud, it's always there.
I got a scripture.
See, but that's selective.
Exactly. What you got, man?
It's the scripture Benji quoted earlier. It's Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Hey, because right now, hey, look, you should be happy, man.
We are.
This right now, man.
We are.
You should be saying, oh, man. Because the scripture say Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followers.
And you see his shit falling.
And you see it falling right before your eyes.
Right before your eyes,
you know? It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time.
That's right.
Hey, so they see it, man. Hey, look, they say when they see it, they should be amazed at the strangeness of your salvation.
And that fear.
and they're afraid right now, man.
See Esau.
They see them chariots.
And
Benji said it a couple days ago, man. That's probably why they ain't moved on us. All right? They haven't moved on us because them chariots keep showing themselves.
And
they know that those chariots are our support and our protection, man.
It was a video.
They know that.
It was a video that just came out, and it's circulating, getting a lot of traction of Esau trying to track down a chariot that came out of the ocean, and how every time he tried to make a move, the chariot would stop, do damn near rectangular movements, and so forth. Esau is he's afraid. He's scared.
I seen one that they was chasing it, and the chariot just went into the ocean.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I saw that one
He said,
too.
you think you gonna follow me? Kaboosh!
Yeah, when the
Straight to
water
ocean.
went by, them two fighters just went by, it came up, it looked, it went back in the water, it came by, it came up, and it took off, and it was like, it looked.
The scripture said he had a face that looked four ways. Right?
It looked. Because, hey, whatever the angel was seeing, the chariot was seeing. It looked.
Hey, that Space Force ain't gonna do you no good, big dog. Hey, look, you can't even get close to the firmament, man. You can't get close to it, man. You can't. Hey, but you see the Lord constantly going through that motherfucker like it don't even exist.
Brother, they got satellites. They got the, not satellites, but them telescopes. Well, they see chariots going in and out of the sun.
That shit crazy.
Absolutely.
So, come on, man. We keep telling you, you're talking about powers.
That's right.
That actually control the elements.
That's it.
We're talking about the powers that made everything that you see, touch, and feel. All the elements that are around us. All right, those we can see and those that we can't see. They made, and they have control over them. You know, like I was watching the X-Men Apocalypse, and you're watching it from a spiritual man. Apocalypse was raw as hell.
Yeah.
You know, and then they really downplayed his character. But you can clearly see that Apocalypse was really his character was really Yahushua. Right, and he was coming for his children. He was coming for the elect. All the elect had powers. And then he would enhance. They were gods on earth. And he would turn up their powers.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
We shall build on their ashes.
I got scripture for you. This is Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is
Start at
formed-
16.
Okay. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coal in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
Right, and so that was that small hatter Oppenheimer when he created that weapon. All right, and so now the waster have been created, them ICBMs, and the Lord's going to actually use them to allow Esau to destroy himself, and then it's not going to hurt his elect.
Con. No weapon, 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh.
So we already know that all those who speak against us and accuse us, and vilify us, it's all going to come to an end. Are we going to have to suffer? Yes, we will. That's a part of the battle. All right, but we know that at the end of the day, we already know the end of the story. No matter how bad of a beating we take, we know that we win in the end.
And we've been getting beat.
We got victory through Yahushua.
Let me finish this. And their righteousness is of me, says Yahweh.
There it is. So let's play the video with the tan, beautiful, bro. Nice little tan. Nice lips too.
Yes. Of course.
There shall be no cash or coinage in the hands of the non-elite.
All transactions shall be carried out by means of a debit card, which shall bear the identification number of the holder. Any person who in any way infringes the rules and regulations of the Committee of 300 shall have the use of his or her card suspended for varying times according to the nature and severity of the infringement. Such persons will find when they go to make purchases that their card is blacklisted and they will no longer be able to obtain services of any kind. Attempts to trade old coins, that is to say silver or gold coins of previous and now defunct nations, shall be treated as capital punishment subjected to the death penalty. Such coinage shall be required to be surrendered within a given time along with guns, rifles, explosives, and automobiles. Only the elite and non-world government.
These are laws that are being put together by the WEF.
Right now.
As that's what she's you know, rattling off. All right, which really, you know, America is supposed to be governed by the Constitution. All right.
That motherfucker gone.
And so clearly it is. All right, and unless they don't want to admit it, because if they admit it, they probably will immediately have a rebellion on their hands.
You guys are Patriot.
All right. But the people who are really paying attention can already see that they're operating outside of it. But we'll go ahead and let it continue.
High-ranking functionaries will be allowed private transport, weapons, coinage, and automobiles.
So the elites will be
have all this shit.
Their marks will make them, will basically give them sovereign immunity. Kind of like certain, we've talked about that before.
So like I said,
Absolutely.
The Esau ain't wait no damn 2030 and shit.
No,
this shit gonna crack out from now till
it ain't gonna make it that far.
It ain't gonna make it that far.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, like I said, I believe stuff getting ready to happen this month. I don't think we're gonna get June. Well, June is in a couple days. It's gonna be some major. It's gonna make shit about to happen in June.
Did they raise the debt ceiling yet?
Yes.
No.
No, they agreed.
They got to pass the House though. So ain't nothing went through yet. The House still got a session.
And even if they do, it's all done.
And they didn't raise it. They gave them unlimited money. Oh, motherfuckers are bad about this agreement. They
say
gave them unlimited funds for 2 years. They didn't raise it. They didn't put a new number there. So
What the fuck? And they said it's already gonna fuck up everything anyway. It's already
black.
It's already gonna. It's too late. Even if they do anything, the damage is already done. You already got more and more banks collapsing.
No bomb.
It's only getting ready to be 2 or 3 big banks.
You cannot,
so the damage is already done from the housing market is collapsing. The card thing is collapsing. All right, and the credit is collapsing.
Absolutely.
So it's all coming down.
I got a scripture. This is James 5:4. Behold, man, I gotta go up.
Yep.
Go to now, James 5.
You rich man.
Go to now, you rich men. Weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. You have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who you have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have leaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Everything that you're doing in your CBDC, your just pumping of just creating new dollars and then make some new dollars and then just print out some new dollars. So you can keep doing that and people pull the wool over people's eyes. But what you're not pulling the wool over is inflation. You're not pulling over the value of the dollar being decreased, and you're not pulling the wool over these other countries who are seeing, wait a minute, I gotta go and mess with your dollars, and then and then I got money, I gotta pay you back in your dollars.
That's why they said they conceded that the nations are rebelling against Western hegemony.
That's it.
They're rebelling against the elites in America, man.
That's it. Because I forgot how one of them put it, but it said it so eloquently. But in a nutshell, it's basically, I gotta go pay you back in American dollars. I gotta go take my actual real wealth, convert it to some fake shit that you just created, and I'm actually losing.
I'm giving up. I'm losing.
I'm losing.
I got assets in silver and gold and other assets, and I got to give up real assets to convert to a paper useless
for some monopoly.
Right, exactly.
Dang.
that they keep on and just say, oh, we ran out, oh, we passed the limit. Hey, print some more and lift the ceiling. Every time.
I got some scripture for you. This is Jeremiah 51, starting at 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone to our own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up to the sky.
And they're leaving there's been a mass flight out of America. But then it's been a mass flight away from the American dollar, the American economy, and American contracts. You got the BRICS, you got the SWIFT, you got all these other things that they're putting up to get away from the American dollar. So America, especially when OPEC said "F you," oh man, the petrol is no longer backing up the dollar. It's actually backed by nothing.
Yeah, when Saudi said
it's backed by the military. That's it.
Absolutely, backed by the military. Absolutely.
Buy my shit.
Back
Yeah, whatever y'all got.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his.
That's right.
How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Should not.
So like, what is you in the blue letter? But we know that thick clay is the Hebrew word
Abatya,
Abatya, which is debt. Right? Laden with debt.
But when you look up that word Meyer, when you go through all of it, it talks about a demon. It says demon. And so you think about Henry Kissinger and how he was allowed to be able to negotiate all of the Asiatic, but we're going to call the Middle East because that's what the people know it as, the Middle East oil, and put it under scrutiny that if you wanted to buy their oil, you had to go get this American dollar. That was a demon that he was possessed that allowed him to be able to get them to put their resources on the market for the American dollar, but you got to go buy it. So now you want $8 million worth of oil, but you got to go get $10 million worth of American dollars. And they want their shit in gold.
Meanwhile, when we take our gold that was given to us from the Chinese for payment and holding and so forth, and we give that shit back, they give them tungsten.
You gotta, this motherfucker wicked on every motherfucking front, boy.
Scammer.
Hey, God, on every front, man.
Well, he's a traducer, he's a deceiver, he's a defrauder. That's right.
You see, that's what I do. I'm that scorpion that's gonna sting your ass if you let me on your back.
Did you want me to play this one too?
Yeah, Baba Kashar.
I've known a lot of y'all, and I spent 7 years at IYC, so I listen, there's no reason for me to lie about anything. It just doesn't lie. It still does.
I found this. I had to get this. This is a tweet from the Wall Street Silver. Got the blue check mark, right? This is a horrible debt ceiling deal. No limit to the debt now because they suspended the debt ceiling for 2 years. So no limit to the debt now since the time at January 2025 for unlimited debt going into a recession. Minimum 4 trillion new debt to around 36 trillion in early 2025. Then he says no one of us own enough gold and silver for what is coming when this all fails. Real quick, can we get Ecclesiastes 12? So just quick.
Let it come down.
This is Ecclesiastes 12, starting with
1.
Okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain.
So seek the Lord while he may be found. Because soon all hell is going to break loose.
It says, verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble.
Right, which are your economists. These are men that watch the economy. They know all the extra lingo. All of it, man. They know the trends. They really into it. Not somebody just watching stocks.
Yep.
You know, stocks are volatile and stocks are randomness. They
Christopher
trendy.
Green.
Yeah, you can look at the stocks for a 6-month period and figure out when to buy, when to sell. That's easy. All right. These
Absolutely.
are niggas that watch economies. They know when to buy other countries' bills.
Debts and all that other stuff.
They know when to buy those debts and sell them. They know when the country gonna take all of that. All right.
It says in
That's
the day.
what the word economy means. The house manager, housekeeper. You know, keepers of the house crying.
In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few.
And that's a deadly combination. You got the housekeepers looking at the economy saying this shit crumbling. Then you got the grinders ceasing, meaning joblessness.
Yep.
And that's at an all-time high right now, and it's only getting worse.
And homelessness as a result of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the strong men bowing, man. These motherfuckers making $300,000, $400,000 a year, and they at the bottom, they crying.
Yeah,
they hurt.
Paycheck.
They shit won't work. They shit ain't covering.
$200,000 a year, $150,000 a year, and you're worrying about living paycheck to paycheck. You can because Biggie said it, more money, more problems.
Absolutely.
So they got bigger cars, bigger houses.
And bigger bills.
Their children
Bigger
are going to these expensive ass schools, and now they can't pay their
Can't live that
you
life.
know everybody's stressed out. These men, you got all these men out here in these sexless ass marriages because these women is tripping.
Yeah, and it's worse than that. It's
And
worse
they're
than
mad.
It's worse than those that just built up debt. Even if you new and you get $200,000 a year, you first have to cure some dudes talking about it. They can't buy a house. Not for $200,000, they buy $200,000, they gonna be in the hood. It's a house
Absolutely.
across the street from me. $200,000. Right.
$230,000.
Right.
$230,000.
So Esau areas, they hurt.
God.
And it's more and more Edomites moving on the south side along the lakefront.
Yeah.
They all along the lake because they want to still live on the lakefront. And they realizing that it's cheaper to live on the south end of the lake than it is to live on the north side, the north end of the lake. And you're starting to see more and more of them, man. And they moving into the hood too.
It's funny.
They buying houses in the hood.
It's funny that you say that the way you said it, Benji, because like when my niece bought Naperville was $400, but they said that shit has doubled. So that means that what she paid $400,000 for back in when was that when she moved in there? Back in the fucking
early 2000s.
Early 2000s. You're looking at an $800,000 to $1 million house.
And she'll never be able to get the
Never get it back. Never get it.
Nobody's buying that shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Michael Jordan's still trying to sell the 23.
Absolutely. He's trying to sell that shit in Hyde Park. He can't even sell it.
There's the one that his ex-wife lived in, right there off Chestnut.
Right. Down there.
Yeah, I think they wanted $9 million for it, but they never got that.
No, they never did that. I did a sit down on that way. Like she didn't get what she was asking for. One of the fucking Chicago Bulls bought that motherfucker, but she didn't get the price that she was asking.
So like,
Go
It was
ahead.
just right across the street from that wicked ass synagogue.
This comment says interest rates to go up, inflation to also increase. Only a revolution will fix this now because politicians are, in all caps, never gonna come through. The primary persona is how they are perceived. That's all it'll ever be. You can finish that.
And it's all kind of videos on the TikTok, the YouTube, and Instagram with white people playing "We Ready."
Yeah,
We ready.
So finishing up this Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3, it says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird."
So martial law comes with what? When joblessness is at a high. When these economists are word meaning the shit is tanking. So that means what, man? Like you said, it's time for them to revolt, man.
Yeah,
like you said, the second
and that's gonna be a serious increase in violence and the home invasions have already started. It's only gonna get worse.
Right.
There's a lot of home invasions in America, man. A
Motherfuckers
lot of them.
Motherfuckers are getting stuck up at the grocery store. They come out trying to put their shit in. They getting smashed.
They jacking people right at their garages, man. Right at their front door.
And you know it's getting closer.
They wait for you to come in, and as soon as that garage raise up and you turn your back to go into to get your
shit.
Right. you know, you got something cold in your back telling you to
Hey,
you know,
don't turn
run
around.
that.
Don't turn around. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Just do
And
it.
Jake is already going into the neck of their enemies. They're going straight up to Esauville.
Yeah,
they're doing 10, 8, 9,
they're
10 robbery.
They're going to Andersonville. They're
yeah.
going to Lincoln Park. They're
Yeah.
going to well, Edgewater really not being touched yet.
Bucktown.
But yeah, they're hitting Bucktown, Wicker Park, all that.
Yeah, all that shit making the news now. Motherfuckers getting
Old
smoked.
Town.
That's right.
Boy,
My client just moved out of Old Town.
Then fuck it. Couldn't take it, huh?
Because Old Town is a part of the Gold Coast. Go ahead, brother.
Real quick, Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass that day, said the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gates,
perfect,
and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills.
Yes!
How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off.
We excited, man.
And
And store closures left and right.
Yes,
too.
sir.
Oh, you motherfuckers thought y'all got away? No.
Oh, yeah.
The retail apocalypse have not stopped, man.
And it's getting worse.
It's a lot of empty stores on Michigan Avenue now, on the
It's-
Magnificent Mile,
Yeah.
and those other major commerce, Clark, Broadway, State Street.
Yeah.
Right.
The worst part of it all, the Walmarts that's in certain areas and communities, well, that's the only store you got. That's your grocery store.
Yeah.
That's your store you get your clothes from, where you get your medicine from.
And the food there's garbage. They
Yeah.
selling
That's
nothing
all
but a
they
bunch
got.
of- They selling
Yeah.
nothing but a bunch of
Yeah.
chemicals and Bill Gates Frankenstein food.
Yeah.
GMOs, baby.
Yeah, because Bill Gates bought up all the farmland and now he's using them. A lot of the stuff
Absolutely.
going into the grocery stores is all that. So the Lord got to come, man.
It's a siege.
Yes.
It'll be no flesh left to save, man. No flesh left to
No
save.
flesh
The Lord
to
got to
save.
come soon, man.
I mean,
Very small. Another thing on that grinding low, like I work in the steel industry. That shit is dead. We ain't doing nothing. Hey, I make a lot. Hey, shit, I'm pushing the broom for 7 hours out the day.
Damn.
7 hours out the day, I'm pushing the broom.
And you said 7 hours. That's another thing. They ain't really giving up full-time jobs too much no more either. They keep you just under the 8-hour mark.
So they don't have to give you
so they
overtime,
don't-
and they got to pay you some
That's why.
Save the insurance.
Because there's very few jobs that pay benefits to part-time people.
No, they
Right.
Then,
Absolutely.
with Amazon, my wife work at Amazon. She rarely works a full shift. They send them home early. Ain't no work. Ain't no work. You know.
Hey, when I worked at UPS, the same thing. I did not work 1 8-hour shift at all. It did not
Ain't
happen.
no work.
Hey, out there, that's the only reason I picked the shift that I did, because everything else they put an auto on. Auto is, you want to go home? Bye.
All right, let's
Are
get
you-
some of this video play
Yeah.
so we can get just because you only really need to hear a few minutes of it, man.
It doesn't justify me though, that I said these things. So, I'm sorry. Anybody else so here's Officer, well, at that time he was an officer of 50, Isaac, telling me once again, to this time it was to make it against ex-sister Gina, and call her. He said, make sure you call her ranting Rachel to bipolar Betty, and make a video against this sister using a dummy account. So everybody that thinks I just make this stuff up, I'm not that good. All right, I don't have to lie. The facts are just that.
So he kept the screenshots.
Yep.
That he was making dummy accounts. All right, against the men of the Lord, including.
Shalom and Most High.
And he said, Shalom, Most High Christ bless.
Still saying.
Lost.
Even though he left them and he's an ISUBK.
Brainwashed.
So he left one 50C3 camp to go to another 50C3 camp.
Blind leading the blind.
2 times.
Blind leading the
First
blind.
of all, I'm making this video because I've been in sin under the orders of my ex-leadership at IOIC. And that sin is making and creating propaganda on the fake profiles and fake YouTube accounts and fake Facebook accounts, and creating propaganda against other camps.
There it is.
Now,
That's all we needed to hear.
Been a few years.
Right. Then he showed you. He gave you some receipts
evidence,
of when he actually did it. Now this is a like almost an 8-minute video. He shows you more. But that being the point, man, which basically justifies what we said about these guys. All right.
You go to an account and the motherfucker ain't got shit on it. You're like, what the fuck? You go drop a comment in the middle of this bullshit that you trying to spew?
It also
and you ain't got no motherfucking, you ain't got no fucking texture to nothing that you doing.
It also proves they're working with Esau.
Those are Edomite tactics.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They working
I
with
mean, the lead is a cop.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's all it is. He told me he was trained to do and did it right there.
And there's a lot of cops in that camp, man.
Yeah.
And the evidence of that is the thing that went down.
And I listened to about 5-10 times, and I actually heard one of them say David Popo. Somebody said that one of them identified as a Popo. One of those IUIC guys.
Well, a lot of them are Popo.
So
of course. Yeah.
Now we ain't saying that your police officer can't be in the truth, but when you got a whole camp of them,
absolutely,
that all happen to be in the 501c3 camp.
So what Masonic lounge are you in?
So these guys are not, and this guy's making all these, dummy accounts and making all these comments to sow discord among Israel. Okay. But where's his edifying videos?
Right. And this came from
where's his edifying videos of him teaching and exhorting the name of the Lord, the true name, Yahweh Yahweh Shai. He's saying Shalom, Christ bless, Most High bless.
Hey,
all right,
precept for you.
Bring it out, brother.
It's Proverbs 6:16. These things doth the Lord hate. Yeah, 7 are an abomination to him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and run into mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord amongst brethren. So this man been set up to sow discord. You ain't reading the scriptures clearly, because that's right here not to do such things, man. You niggas are devils. Look, these other camps are filled with devils, man.
That's right. Yep. And it comes from their leadership, because he said he was told to do this, so he was following his higher ups.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, with all their gimmicks to get members and all that thing too, because the Great Millstone grew worldwide
without riding horses,
through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai.
Yeah.
Right? Did nobody go out, no mass recruitment? Did nobody come out and hand out everybody? So we all had matching shiny garments.
Flying all
right?
over
We didn't get the we didn't get the Warrior Conan's wristbands, with the spikes on them.
Right. No bells and whistles. They
none of that, man. We just got the truth.
That's
right.
It,
and we know that there's agents out there among the camp, and there's probably some among Great Millstone as well. But guess what's going to happen? They're gonna get edified. The Lord gonna weed them out, and in most cases they actually gonna get converted.
That's right.
Because they're gonna have to they're gonna have to go to class. They're gonna have to read. They're gonna have to eat the roll. They're gonna have to do their videos. They're gonna have to learn the Hebrew, study history. And then they're gonna be like, well, goddamn.
All this shit loud enough.
This
Damn.
is great. Well, shit, man. Well, sir. We are the Hebrews, sir. That's fuck you, sir. Right? I mean, that's basically right. They're gonna get converted, man. So
that's why that movie never came out.
Right? They want to exactly why it never came out. They tried to do it twice, man.
Yeah.
All right. Because they didn't want to give it that much, give this thing that much more momentum. Yeah. So anything that you're gonna do against this truth, if the Lord gonna make it, he gonna turn it around, man.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do nothing against this truth, only for it, man.
Right. That's right.
All right. Any last scripture?
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. What manner of man the ruler of the city is, such as are all that dwell therein.
So that was the fruit of I'm just go back to calling him Nate Satan. Because that's exactly what he is. He's been a deceiving adversary.
Right. Yep. Make the whole tree either the whole tree good, the fruit good, and the whole tree good, or the whole tree evil and the fruit evil.
That's right.
His shit got to get withered up like Yahweh Shai did.
I got a quick one. This Acts 5:36. For before these days rose up
that is, boasted himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, all in all, as many as obeyed him, and were scattered and brought to naught. After this man rose up Judas of Gilead in the day of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. Verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel of this work be a man, it will come to naught.
That's right,
that's
brother.
What's happening. It's coming to naught. That's why they being exposed. The
Yep.
Lord is showing, shining the light on them, showing, hey man, everything gonna come to the light eventually.
That's
you can't
right.
keep hiding this,
Come.
thinking you gonna escape from what the Lord gonna show. The Lord gonna show who you really are. If y'all really men of the Lord are sincere or humble, or you just wicked and just doing this thing for 50 lucas.
Filthy lucre sake, they're trying to come up some other way. We saw with
Absolutely.
ITR and many other groups, man.
Absolutely.
And it's just gonna come to naught, you know. And
Right.
I actually became and IUIC Judas goats for all of Israel, right? And they're really giving a bad look with all this bickering. The one dude that keeps talking about he's a psychiatrist or whatever, counselor, and he's worked with all these gay dudes, and he's talking about how he knows that Nate had sex with a man, all the signs are there. And I'm like, how the hell you right? You so how man? So you know, and I seriously doubt if I believe Nate is wicked as hell, but he ain't on that fruities,
okay.
you know.
Yeah.
So they just this. Yeah, man, you'll
They're
see
being bombarded
that
with
video.
grace.
That video, you'll see it, man. But all that backbiting, all the things that the Lord said not to do, man. All you got to do is just go out there and preach the gospel. But these guys are setting up, Jake for a fall, man. And those who are not grounded and rooted they're gonna get swept away in that, man.
But that's why you had to have more camps that didn't teach the truth than did teach the truth, because you got 2/3 that's got to be shifted and sent to some place where they think they on point.
Right.
Where they think they on point.
Yeah, but it's gonna be to the ditch.
To the ditch.
It's all gonna fail, man. Hey, so with that, man, we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakudash.
Wa Ababa Ball.
Ababa Ball.
Machines, cells and cells.